You know what? I think y'all were right about the Saleen. More specifically, the T45, because this thing might be smoked. So this is the first time I've gotten to drive this thing in a couple days, but I just want you to take a listen to some of the noises that this thing is making. Doesn't sound the best, honestly. Sounds like we installed some straight cut gears. This thing kind of sounds like a sequential trans, if you've ever heard them. They have a lot of gear noise. So here's the reality. This transmission's got about 500 miles or so with this motor. It did not whine. It did not have any crunches during every shift like it has now. It's obvious that 700 wheel horsepower is putting a beating on this transmission. You know, I don't think it's going to last much longer. I really don't even think it would make it 2 Mustang weeks, survive Mustang week, and then come back home in one piece. I'm pretty sure it would be getting pushed up on the trailer if we go to Mustang week with this T45. Now, typically the problems tend to be with the input shaft. These have a 10 spline input shaft, just like the T56, just like the 3650. And I guess what seems to happen is they either twist or they just completely break, which in turn ends up grenading the transmission entirely. Now in OG, Andrew had a T45 with the Coyote and the Pro Charger at one point, and it whined. I don't know if it whined quite this bad, but it had a pretty decent whine, and it lasted. He beat the crap out of it, took it out. It was still a good transmission technically. It actually didn't grind like mine does. We honestly kind of thought it was going to be 50-50 as to whether this thing survived with this amount of power or not. Combined with the extra power, we're also spinning this thing a little bit harder because we can turn some more RPM with the Terminator engine than we could with the 2-valve. You know, on this car, we're able to rev it out to about 7 grand, and it makes power pretty much to about 65. Whereas with the 2-valve, you know, it didn't really make much sense to rev it out past 5,800 RPM because it peaked at its power at 5,500 RPM. So I think what we're gonna do is just a couple checks. I'm gonna get the car up in the air. I've got some quick jacks here that we're going to put the car up on, and we'll just try and see if we can see anything that looks unusual. I wanna pop the drain plug off of the trans just for a second, collect a little sample of it, see if it looks super metally, which to be honest, there's a good chance that it does. And then I also want to start the car up in the air, take a look at the clutch, make sure the clutch isn't hurt, because what I'd like to do is reuse the clutch. It only has 500 miles on it. I'm not feeling anything weird in the clutch. I'm not hearing anything weird in the clutch. It sounds like it's all coming from the transmission. So I really would like to reuse this for what I think we're going to have to do, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. What I've gone ahead and done is jack the car up a little bit. The trans fluid is accessible from the passenger side. There is a drain plug that is about right in this area. So what I'm gonna do is get underneath there and take a little cup, try and drain just a little bit of that fluid out, get an idea of roughly what it's looking like. If it looks super bad, it's probably gonna be pretty telling as to why we're having some of the issues that we're having. Now, as you can see, this is about where I normally park, and I replaced the output shaft seal on this. It's obviously, can't really tell there, but it is leaking. You can see there's a drip right there, kind of at the back of the tail shaft, and well, doesn't look great. I tried replacing that thinking that was gonna solve the problem. I guess not a big deal. Maybe it's losing fluid, it could be a little low. Maybe that explains some things, but I'm gonna be completely honest. There's probably a good chance that this transmission is on its last leg. So we just went ahead and drained out just a little bit of the fluid from the T45, and this was new fluid. And well, I'll tell you this, it is still red, but it's got some sparkle to it, and that's not what you would want. In fact, you could actually look kind of up there. There is some metal in this thing. What I think is more telling is the fact that it smells pretty burnt. It is still red, but it smells just like crap, honestly. It just doesn't smell right. Normally ATF has a pretty recognizable smell. I've smelt what burnt ATF coming out of an auto smells like. This is very similar. It's not exactly the same. Hopefully here maybe gives a little bit of a better view of it, but it's hard to pick it up on camera, but there are quite a few sparkly swirls floating around in there. And yeah, that's just not really what you want inside your transmission. We did a little checkup there on the fluid. While it doesn't look terrible, at least in terms of color, it smells pretty burnt. And also there is some metal flake floating around in there. So I think what we're gonna do is hop in the car, try and very carefully drive it down to Andrews, about 100 miles away. Hopefully we'll make it there without any problems. He wants to drive it, so we'll let him drive it, see what he thinks, and we'll go from there. But I'm pretty certain that T45 is coming out.
It's quite hot, top down. Let's see how cooked this thing is. Okay, I can definitely hear some noises. Maybe it is cooked. Now, we knew this thing needed a transmission regardless. The T45 isn't really made to go 700 horsepower. So, you know. That has always grinded. This trans has been a piece of shit since day one when he put it in with the 2-valve originally. I mean, can't be blown up that much. I don't know, Bradley. Something may be wrong with it, but it's not blown up. But we're still gonna take it out regardless, because it just sustained power, some spin. Not too bad, not too bad. It's like it only makes noise at lower speed. I don't know. Seems kind of fine to me. It only makes noise at like low speed, which is weird. It's got a little whine, but I don't know, all these T45s kind of whine anyways. Is it blown up? No. Does it make a weird noise that it didn't make before? Yes. But no, it's not blown up. So regardless, we got a T56 on the way, 26 blind disc, and I mean, it's probably a solid trans for someone to rebuild, you know, do some synchros and, you know, your basic stuff, or maybe even build it. You know, you can build T45 pretty decently as well. So I don't know, that thing's not really cooked. It makes some noise.
It whines a lot. Although, how fast
I just
did you get
ripped
it
it.
up to? Did you really?
Yeah, I just ripped it.
It survived?
Yeah, I just like pedaled it through second gear.
Oh man, dude, you did a second gear ripperoni on the...
Well, I figured the new trans is on the way and you're already
That's not
here.
what I was worried about. It was these tires. I don't know if you saw the tire on the other side. It's like not good.
It's not cooked.
You totally drove it like you wanted to the other night, but didn't because we didn't want to blow it up. Now we don't care.
Well, I didn't go that crazy because the temp was pretty high. It was at 150 IAT. So I just like pedaled it a little bit in a second.
Yeah.
But
it gets down though.
yeah. All right, guys. Well, fresh in off the truck, we have Bradley's new T56 MGW shifter. It is currently a 10 spline, but we got the fixins for that. We got a nice 26 spline unit going in there. This should solve all of Bradley's problems. Probably give it a little wash, clean up, but this is actually the trans that was connected to his 0304 Cobra engine. He just basically bought it in two parts, I guess. T45 we thought would last longer. It isn't actually fully blown up, but this is a really good idea, and we're gonna be swapping that in the next video, so definitely look forward to that. And then he'll finally be able to do some like real hard pulls without worrying about breaking the transmission. All right, y'all, well, I'm back up here in Jacksonville. Took the old Lightning, drove Zeus all the way up here, a little bit of an adventure there, but we got it all squared away. The Saleen is still at Andrew's shop. We've got the T56, we've got some goodies for the T56, and in the next video, we're going to be dropping that into the car, so stay tuned for that. We're gonna walk through doing the 26 spline input shaft upgrade. We're gonna show you what we're doing with the clutch situation, and then we're gonna put it in. It's actually a pretty easy setup. We've got a couple other goodies over there that we're gonna need as well. But we're doing this swap on a budget, just like we've kind of done with the rest of the Terminator swap in the Saleen. So if you guys are enjoying the series, get subscribed, drop a like down below, leave a comment. Let me know how long you think the rear end's gonna last, because that's kind of the next thing on the chopping block. But I'm gonna leave you guys with a couple clips from David. That dude in blue came in town. He drove the GT500 as well as the Marauder and the Cobra. We had a really good time. Stay tuned over to his channel because he's gonna be dropping those videos here real soon.